welcome back to another art time lapse. So for this art time lapse, the art piece is called In Good Company. This piece was initially started as a feel-good piece, just with the idea of plants and trying out drawing different types of leaves. So that was really the intent of the entire painting, but later on it kind of spiraled into a Studio Ghibli theme piece, which is okay. But my plan is really to start to do more pieces in my own style and my own characters. But I guess I'll have to save that for another day. So, like always, if you guys like this type of content, please consider subscribe, and sharing this video or other of my artwork. It really does help with spreading the word about the channel. So anyways, I am currently using Holbein's acrylic wash. I have a couple of different types of greens that I am mixing up to paint in the different leaves on top of this yellow platform, which will eventually become the body of a truck. So here I'm diluting it with some water and slowly layering on more and more leaves to create more depth for these plants that are being, I guess, transported. That's the plan. So I wanted to draw different types of leaves, different types of plants, and just practice. At the same time, I thought that maybe it's too ordinary and too simple if it was just a truck full of plants. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking like, well, how can I make this a little bit more interesting? And you'll see as I go through with this art time lapse what I decide to do at the end. So here I am spending most of my time using this smaller brush to paint most of the painting, to be honest. It's my preference to use a smaller brush and work on details. I don't know if that's always a good thing because it does take a lot longer to finish a painting, but you know what? Journey before destination, and I really enjoy the journey of painting with a smaller brush. So there, I guess that's my justification for it. Okay, so you can see I am still layering on the different plants. And then here I'm using black wash to paint in the wheels. And normally I do not use black wash at all. If you see some of my other videos about my art process, most of the time I prefer to mix two different colors to get a darker color just to create more depth and dimension and interest in the piece. Let's say it's like cobalt or magenta creates a really dark shadowy tone, whereas black I feel is really flat. For this piece I've decided to make an exception because this is more of a illustration piece that is kind of more 2D, so I use black to paint in the wheels and a little bit of the shadow. Of course this truck will need a driver, so I'll get to that in a moment. So here just adding in more details, and now I've decided to paint in the driver, which I decided will be Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor Totoro, because I think it would be so adorable for him to drive a little truck full of plants. But with that out of the way, I will be adding some Suswatari or suit sprites, almost like Christmas ornaments on the tree. So you can see me dotting it in with the black Holbein gouache. Here I've decided what I'm going to do to make this piece a little bit more interesting. I'm using a light apricot from Holbein to paint in faces. So my ultimate plan was to do all the female heroines from a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies and have them sit on the edge of the truck, as Studio Ghibli's Totoro is the driver for that truck. And they're bringing all these heroines in good company for a ride. These characters are not in any particular order, but now that I think about it, maybe I should have painted them in the order when the movies came out. That would have been a nice touch. But anyways, I painted them just in the order that I could think of off the top of my head, I guess. You can see that afterwards I'll do a zoom in and you'll see the different characters, but there is characters from Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki Delivery Service, there's Ponyo, there is also Howls Moving Castle, there is Laputa, Castle in the Sky, and also Princess Mononoke. I know there are a way more different heroines from Studio Ghibli, but I decided that will be the selection I choose for now. Here, beside Totoro, I decided that he needs some friends to hang out in the front of this truck as well. And I really like how Totoro came out because the shadowy component has a nice kind of blue, green, olive tinge to it, so makes it look really interesting and not just like a flat 2D character. So here you can see I'm using my Sakura brand jelly roll to draw in the eyes for my suit sprites. And you can see how I do it is just by painting the white portion of their eye and leaving their pupil. And I guess the difficult part is trying to figure out where to leave that pupil space and make each of the suit sprites a little bit interesting in the way that their expressions are and where they're looking. Usually for my Holbein gouache pieces, at the end of it I like to use my favorite pastel oil pencils to create a little bit more dimension and gradient to some of the colors, just to provide it with some highlights. These pencil crayons are so butterly smooth. It really makes the process enjoyable to illustrate. So I hope you guys enjoy the art time lapse so far and following along my process for how I painted this piece in good company. I liked how this piece turned out. I wonder if this piece would be better without the little heroine characters hanging out on the side, or just have Totoro driving the truck. I'm still not really sure. I would like to get a second opinion if you guys think or have any suggestions on how to improve on this piece. I feel like it's not fully completed, or maybe it was better before, but I guess it's too late now. It's not like I can get rid of the characters. But yeah, I guess I'm wrapped up for this piece. I don't think every single piece has to be perfect, so it's something that I have to learn to accept and be comfortable with. So here's the piece in its final form for now, in good company. Well, thank you for your company in following my art process, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay safe.